The British Empire, spanning continents and oceans, played a pivotal role in supporting the Allied efforts during World War II. However, this support was not always certain and evolved significantly over the course of the 1930s and 1940s. In the early 1930s, the British Empire's stance towards Germany was one of cautious support. The Anglo-German Naval Agreement of 1935, for instance, was a clear sign of this support. This agreement, which allowed Germany to expand its navy, was viewed by many as a step towards a potential alliance against Russia and France. The British government's policy of appeasement, led by Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, further illustrated this support. The belief was that by offering concessions, Europe could avoid another devastating war. Chamberlain's efforts culminated in the Munich Agreement of 1938, allowing Germany to annex the Sudetenland in hopes of securing peace. But as Germany's aggressive ambitions became increasingly evident, attitudes within the British Empire began to shift. The British public and many politicians started to see the true nature of the Nazi regime. This growing awareness led to a significant change in policy, moving from appeasement to active opposition. The British Empire's contribution to the Allied war effort was monumental. Commonwealth forces, including troops from Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and India, fought valiantly against Axis forces across multiple theaters of war, from the deserts of North Africa to the jungles of Asia and the beaches of Europe. The strategic importance of the British Empire's global presence cannot be overstated. Key locations such as Gibraltar and the Suez Canal allowed for the control of vital sea lanes and the movement of troops and supplies, proving crucial to the Allied war strategy. However, the war also marked the beginning of the decline of the British Empire. The immense strain of the war effort, particularly in Asia, diminished Britain's global power and prestige. This shift in the balance of power saw the United States and the Soviet Union emerge as the new dominant forces on the world stage. The war accelerated the process of decolonization. British military administrations in territories occupied during the war were soon handed over to local authorities or former European colonial powers. This included territories like Eritrea, Libya, Madagascar, and parts of Germany and Japan. The end of World War II marked a significant turning point, leading to the eventual dissolution of the British Empire. In summary, while the British Empire initially supported Germany through a policy of appeasement, it later played a critical role in the Allied war effort. The Empire's military and strategic contributions were vital, but the war also heralded the decline of British global dominance and the beginning of a new world order. On July 3, 1940, the azure waters off Mers el-Kébir, French Algeria, were about to witness a tragic and controversial event that would leave a lasting scar on Anglo-French relations. This was part of Operation Catapult, an urgent British endeavor to prevent France's powerful naval fleet from falling into Axis hands following France's armistice with Germany and Italy. The British dispatched a destroyer carrying Captain Holland to negotiate with French Admiral Gensoul. However, Admiral Gensoul, insisting on protocol, refused to meet with an officer of lesser rank. As negotiations stalled, the British delivered a written ultimatum to the French fleet. The ultimatum presented the French with three stark choices: sail with the British and continue the fight, sail to a French port in the West Indies and disarm, or scuttle their ships to prevent them from being used by the Axis powers. The British made it clear that if the French refused, they would open fire. To increase the pressure, the British sent swordfish aircraft from HMS Ark Royal to drop mines across the harbor entrance, effectively trapping the French fleet. Despite several extensions to the ultimatum, the French remained resolute in their refusal. At 16:54 GMT on July 3, 1940, the British opened fire. The bombardment, lasting just 10 minutes, had devastating effects. The battleship Bretagne was sunk, several other ships were damaged, and 1,297 French sailors lost their lives in the tragic outcome. To prevent their ships from falling into German hands, the French scuttled the damaged battleship Dunkerque and beached the battleship Provence. The attack left a deep and painful impact on Anglo-French relations, seen by many French as a betrayal by their former allies. The aftermath of the French fleet incident was profound. It forced the British leadership to confront the harsh moral dilemmas of wartime decision-making, where the lines between ally and enemy could blur. This incident highlighted the complexities and high stakes involved as nations grappled with rapidly changing circumstances. The French fleet incident stands as a somber reminder of the tragic consequences of war and the difficult choices that leaders must make. It was a pivotal moment that showcased the lengths to which Britain would go to prevent its enemies from gaining a strategic advantage. In September 1940, Nazi Germany was poised for an audacious and unprecedented move: the invasion of Britain, codenamed Operation Sea Lion. The objective was clear: eliminate the United Kingdom as a military base against the Axis powers. But to achieve this, Germany needed to secure both air and naval superiority over the English Channel. One of the most intriguing aspects of Operation Sea Lion was the lack of concrete invasion plans. When Hitler ordered the invasion in July 1940, the German High Command, OKW, was caught off guard. The Kriegsmarine had only conducted a preliminary study in November 1939, identifying numerous challenges, but without developing actual invasion plans. The Kriegsmarine was ill-prepared for such an ambitious operation. Having suffered significant losses during the Norway campaign, they were left with only one heavy cruiser, 3 light cruisers, and 9 destroyers. In stark contrast, the British Royal Navy remained overwhelmingly powerful, posing a significant threat to any invasion fleet. To make matters worse, Germany had to hastily assemble hundreds of unpowered Rhine barges to transport troops and equipment across the treacherous English Channel. These barges were woefully inadequate, lacking essential features such as bow doors, sea keels, and plumbing. With a freeboard of only 2 feet, they were dangerously unsuited for the Channel's choppy waters. Adding to the logistical nightmare, Wehrmacht planners had to rely on outdated maps of Britain dating back to the 1890s. The Luftwaffe, tasked with conducting reconnaissance to locate suitable landing sites, refused to carry out the necessary missions, leaving the planners in the dark. The fate of Operation Sea Lion hinged on the Luftwaffe defeating the Royal Air Force, RAF. However, in the pivotal Battle of Britain, the RAF, with its advanced radar technology and formidable fighter planes like the Spitfire and Hurricane, repelled the German air assault. The Luftwaffe's failure to gain air superiority allowed the Royal Navy to remain a formidable obstacle to any invasion attempt. Facing mounting losses and unfavorable weather conditions, Hitler postponed the invasion multiple times. On September 17, 1940, Operation Sea Lion was postponed indefinitely, with Hitler's attention shifting towards his next ambitious plan: the invasion of the Soviet Union. In summary, Operation Sea Lion was plagued by a lack of planning, insufficient naval and air forces, and the unwavering resilience of British defenses. The invasion that never materialized stands as a testament to the critical importance of air superiority and the indomitable spirit of the British people during one of their darkest hours. The abandonment of Operation Sea Lion marked a significant turning point in World War II, highlighting the strengths and weaknesses of both the Axis and Allied powers. It remains a fascinating what-if scenario in the annals of history. The Battle of Britain, fought between July and October 1940, was a pivotal conflict that pitted the German Luftwaffe against the British Royal Air Force, RAF. This battle would determine the fate of Britain and the success of Operation Sea Lion. Overconfidence ran high in the Luftwaffe. They believed they could defeat the RAF in just 4 days and obliterate the rest of Britain's air defenses within 4 weeks. This gross underestimation of British capabilities would prove to be a critical mistake. Compounding their overconfidence was a lack of consistent strategy. The Luftwaffe wavered between trying to establish a blockade, destroying fighter command, and bombing cities. This inconsistency prevented them from focusing their efforts effectively. Britain, however, had a secret weapon: the most advanced radar early warning system in the world. This technological marvel gave fighter command crucial advance notice, allowing them to direct their fighters to intercept incoming raids with precision. The RAF's Spitfire and Hurricane fighters were unmatched by any in the Luftwaffe's arsenal. German bombers found themselves vulnerable to these agile and powerful planes during daylight raids. In 4 key actions in August 1940, the Luftwaffe lost 145 aircraft, while the RAF lost only 88. By late August, the Luftwaffe had lost over 600 aircraft compared to the RAF's 260. The tide of the battle was turning. The British unexpectedly bombed Berlin, infuriating Hitler. In response, he ordered the Luftwaffe to shift its focus from fighter command to bombing London and other cities, initiating the Blitz. This strategic blunder allowed the RAF to recover and maintain its air defenses. Despite the Luftwaffe's shift in strategy, they faced numerous shortcomings. They lacked heavy bombers to inflict significant damage, had persistent supply problems, and struggled with a shortage of experienced pilots. The Battle of Britain was marked by innovative tactics on both sides. RAF pilots, under Keith Park's command, were instructed to attack German bombers head-on, exploiting their vulnerability. Meanwhile, Lee-Mallory's big wing formations aimed to attack en masse, though controversial in their effectiveness. South African fighter pilot Adolf Saylor Malin developed crucial tactics that emphasized deflection shooting, attacking from the sun, and closing in to shoot down the enemy. His methods were passed on to all RAF fighter command stations and became instrumental in their defense strategy. The RAF's primary aim was to disperse massed formations of German bombers while destroying as many as possible. This was challenging with Luftwaffe fighters flying high above the bombers, but the RAF's tactics and resilience paid off. The Battle of Britain ended with the Luftwaffe's first major defeat and the failure of Hitler's planned invasion of Britain. The resilience and technological advantages of the RAF, combined with the Luftwaffe's overconfidence and strategic missteps, ensured that Britain would stand firm against the Axis powers. The Battle of Britain remains a testament to the courage, innovation, and determination of the British people and their defenders. It was a turning point in World War II, proving that air superiority and strategic resilience could overcome even the mightiest of foes. As the Battle of Britain raged on, the Luftwaffe's strategic bombing campaign, led by Hermann Göring, was plagued by critical miscalculations and tactical errors. Göring's overconfidence and shifting strategies would prove disastrous for the German air assault. Göring consistently underestimated the strength of the RAF. Believing they had only 400-500 fighters, he assured Hitler that the RAF would be destroyed in time for the planned invasion of Britain to begin by September 15, 1940. In reality, Fighter Command had over 700 fighters ready for action by early August. Initially, the Luftwaffe scattered its efforts across multiple targets, treating the entire RAF as their objective. This lack of focus diluted their effectiveness. It wasn't until late August 1940 that Göring ordered a shift in tactics, concentrating more on bombing airfields, which severely strained Fighter Command's resources. The strategic situation took a dramatic turn on August 24, 1940, when German bombs accidentally fell on London. The British retaliated by bombing Berlin the following night. This infuriated Hitler, who then ordered Göring to shift the Luftwaffe's focus from RAF airfields to bombing London and other cities, marking the start of the Blitz. Nay, of the Luftwaffe's significant blunders was their failure to effectively target Britain's radar infrastructure. They aimed at the easily replaceable radar towers instead of the critical operations buildings. Göring later ordered the Luftwaffe to ignore radar sites altogether, missing a crucial opportunity to cripple Britain's early warning system. Late August 1940, the Luftwaffe, through sheer weight of numbers, was on the brink of defeating the RAF. However, the shift in tactics to focus on the Blitz allowed the RAF to recover. The Luftwaffe's failure to maintain pressure on Fighter Command and destroy critical infrastructure led to their ultimate defeat in the Battle of Britain. In summary, Göring's overconfidence, shifting tactics, and the failure to destroy the RAF's radar and infrastructure allowed the British to prevail. The Blitz, intended to break British morale, instead marked a turning point where the Luftwaffe lost the initiative. The resilience of the British people and the strategic acumen of Fighter Command secured Britain's skies and thwarted Hitler's plans. The strategic bombing campaign and the Blitz stand as a testament to the resilience and ingenuity of the British people. Despite facing one of the most formidable air forces in history, Britain stood firm, proving that even in the darkest times, courage and unity can overcome overwhelming odds.